What's up, everybody? Hey, Tom Laird here, host of the Advice from a Call Center Geek podcast and founder of Expivia. For exceptional contact center outsourcing, trust Expivia. We're fully AI-driven, as all of you know, and can handle voice, email, chat, and all of your digital channels. Our 600-seat USA contact center is expert in healthcare, financial services, insurance, tech support, retail, and more. Experts on the NICE CX1 platform, we ensure seamless customer experiences. DM me or visit expiviausa.com for more.
This is Advice from a Call Center Geek, a weekly podcast with a focus on all things call center. We'll cover it all from call center operations, hiring, culture, technology, and education. We're here to give you actionable items to improve the quality of yours and your customers' experience. This is an evolving industry with creative minds and ambitious people like this guy. Not only is his passion call center operations, but he's our host. He's the CEO of Expivia Interaction Marketing Group and the Call Center Geek himself, Tom Laird.
Welcome back, everybody, from a little week and a half hiatus of Advice from a Call Center Geek, the call center podcast where we give you some actionable items that you can hopefully take back to your contact center to improve your quality, to improve your agents, and hopefully improve the customer experience as well. My name is Tom Laird. I'm the CEO of Expivia Interaction Marketing. Expivia is a 500-seat call center BPO outsourcer located here in what is now becoming more and more spring-like, Erie, Pennsylvania. So welcome. If you are listening to this as maybe your first new episode after NICE inContact interactions, I know we really pushed the podcast and it seemed to be received really, really well. So please welcome. I wanted to give a little bit of I got a lot to talk about today. So the first thing is I want to tell you a little story about my week last week and my out-of-town visit and to the conference, to the NICE inContact user conference, which really opened my eyes to a lot of the newer technologies that are coming out. Also want to discuss the ICVC meeting, which is the inContact Visionary Council meeting that I'm on, that we got to sit down with the product roadmap people, Paul Jarman, the CEO of NICE inContact, along with the chief operating officer and some of their high client service, customer support folks. So really, really insightful meeting, and I want to share some of those takes with you as well. But to begin, I got a story for you. And I was going to dedicate the entire podcast to this, but I think it ended up in an okay place, so I've decided to tone down my my negative rhetoric, I guess. And I apologize. I have a little bit of a cold going on here, so I got my deep, sexy voice today. Maybe I should keep this for my norm. But anyway, I flew into Las Vegas. I'm in Expivia's in Erie, Pennsylvania. So I fly from Erie to Chicago. I fly then from Chicago to Las Vegas. So I got into Las Vegas on the 14th, which is about 12 days ago, which was a Sunday. It's the same day that Tiger Woods won the Masters. Pretty cool. But anyway, I like suits. I dress up. So, I was going to speak. Well, I did speak 2 times at the NICE inContact interactions. I also gave a customer testimonial. And normally I am pretty decked out in a suit and tie. But of course, my 4 suits, all my pants, about 6 or 7 dress shirts, shoes, underwear, T-shirts, belts, everything got lost. My luggage got totally lost on somewhere between Erie, Pennsylvania, and Las Vegas. So I'm going to give you my quick rundown from a customer experience standpoint of what, I am going to say that. It was United, all right? It was United Airlines. They ended up making good on it, but the customer journey to that point was absolutely brutal. So let's discuss some pain points that I went through, and maybe we can learn some things from this as well. So my first phone call, or my first interaction with United Baggage, happened right after about 11 o'clock Pacific time, where I dealt with the baggage claim people. They filled out my form, circled what your luggage looks like, blah, 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 all that normal stuff. Go back to my hotel, think I'm going to have it in a couple hours. Don't have it in a couple hours. It's now about 2 o'clock. I call the customer support. The customer support for United for their baggage service is in India. They were to be honest, they were very difficult to understand. There was definitely a difference of culture of what I thought empathy should feel like. They were very robotic. So I try to be extremely nice as I possibly can, because I am in the industry, and I kind of think of what if those were my customer service reps. So they did everything they could. They put it out to all the airports that I was at. Sir, should call you back. We'll call you back in a couple hours. All right, good. A couple hours happened. Never got a call back. Call back about 7 and 8 o'clock at night. They did the same exact thing, same exact questions. Asked me what was in my bag, what color is my bag. The cool thing is, I know their processes a little bit from running a call center. So I asked them to please read their memos, right? Please read your notes. And so then they finally did, said, okay, sir, I do see that you went through that. We'll give you a call tomorrow morning. Okay, great. Well, tomorrow morning came, never got a phone call. So once again, now it's Monday, right? And I have we also were a sponsor at the show. So we have a happy hour to work the booth, which is kind of the kickoff to the showcase. So again, want to be kind of dressed up for this. I don't want to wear jeans. I don't want to wear a polo shirt. That's just, I don't know. It's just kind of how I do it. Called them two times during the morning, one more time in the afternoon. Had no response. They have no idea where it is. Can't even tell me remotely what airport it could have been at. Asked to talk to a supervisor. Was put on hold for about 25 minutes. Person comes back on, says our supervisor will call you within an hour. Never received a phone call from the supervisor. Starting to get a little frustrated. Next day, same thing, call. Really irritated. Had to do the happy hour in my jeans. I am now speaking at 3 o'clock. All I have is jeans, a t-shirt, or a polo shirt, 3 t-shirts left, a couple boxers, and I have a pair of sneakers. So I kind of panic. I go to the crystal shops in Las Vegas. If any of you have been to the crystal shops, and listen, I'm super naive, right, when it comes to clothes. Like I walked in, and basically I'm like this guy that said, what is that Louis Vuitton thing with all these bags, right? I mean, I'm exaggerating a little, but you kind of get where my naivety is, I guess, for fashion and clothes. But every single suit in this place was like $5,800, every single store. So I mean, obviously, I can't afford $1,500 for a suit. So I go back to we stayed at the Aria. Went back to the Aria. Went to the the men's store that's there, and ended up buying a $700 blazer that was probably worth about $200. And I got actually a $150 pair of sneakers that I'm actually wearing now. So I'm okay with that. So I at least had something. So I had jeans, a polo. I now have a blazer at least, and I got some these sneakers that make me look like I'm a 25, trying to be a 25-year-old in a 42-year-old body. One of those, like the cool tech dudes who think they're cool, but they're kind of not. So that was me. So I gave my speech. It gave me some, kind of some fun things to open up with. That night, call customer service again. They again asked me what is in my bag, what color is my bag. Have no idea where it is. Really getting irritated now. Ask for a supervisor. Get on hold for a very long time. So this goes on to now Wednesday night, and moving now into Thursday. Call again. So I've called now about 8 or 9 times. I have nothing to show for it. No one's ever given me a call back. They've asked me the same questions every single time. I have no confidence that my bag is anywhere. Then I finally DM them, right? So I go on do the Twitter thing, and they're no help at all on Twitter. Just no empathy. I guess that's the biggest thing. And I really didn't feel like anyone was actually trying to look for my bag or help. So I'm really starting to get mad, right? And it takes me a while to get mad, especially when it comes to customer service. But when it's this bad, I need to do something. So, of course, it's now Wednesday night, and I get a text message or I get a DM from their social media account that says, Mr. Laird, we think we found your bag. I call into the customer support again. Yeah, Mr. Laird, we think we found your bag. It's going to be out on a flight. The flight is $23.95. I still remember it. We'll have it out to you tomorrow morning. I'm stoked, right? I'm excited. I'm apologizing for everyone for my previous behavior. If I said anything mean, I really appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, I get up early in the morning and I call back to customer support to make sure that this darn bag is on this flight. Because I'm leaving the next day, and I'm just waiting for my bag to fly into Las Vegas, and then me get it and have to pay like a $50 baggage fee to get it back to Erie. Waiting for that. That was a joke. But anyway, so I call them in the morning, and of course, it was not my bag. So they have no idea where my bag is. They don't know. They have no clue where it is. At this point, they're giving me. And I should have, stayed a couple of days ago. They're going to give me $50 to go rent a suit. Right? You ever try to rent a suit? First of all, no. And second of all, do you ever try to rent a suit in Vegas? So then they got up to $400. So I'm at $400 here, and now they're basically saying your bag's gone. So they're going to give me $1,500, which I thought was disrespectful almost, because I got like $4,000 worth of stuff in there. So then they tell me to call Houston to their escalated baggage group. I don't know why it's taken me 4 days to get to that group. So I do call them, and they're basically go online, fill these forms. I'm like, you guys lost my bag. And now you're making the customer go online, go out of their way to kind of prove and to show all the stuff that they lost. It was super annoying. I thought that was kind of the final straw for me. So I said, fine, send me the $1,500 plus the $400. Never flying your airline again, and I'm going to dedicate my podcast and my blog to you guys. That was kind of my parting shot. I'm sure they were super scared. But anyway, so I fly back to Erie Friday. So this is Good Friday, so last Friday. And I talked to the baggage person in Erie who was awesome, right? And she said, Tom, can you give me 2 hours? Here's my personal cell phone. Give me a call back. Let me see what I can do. She goes, I'm really good at this. So I do that. And I call her back, and she said, Tom, she's like, I know that this is painful. She's like, do me a favor, go to this website on the United site, fill out the lost bag. I know we already have it in there, but if you do it, it kind of adds more, I guess, emphasis to it. So I wasn't happy about it, but she was super nice, and I said, okay, thank you. And I did that, and guess what? I went out to dinner on Saturday with the family. We went to TGI Fridays. I haven't seen it for a while, so we go to Friday. So my daughter, my son, and my wife. Actually, my mother-in-law was there too. And I get a call from Madison, Wisconsin. And guess what? There's my bag. So I guess my bag was a Green Bay Packer fan, wanted to go check out a Packer game. So they had my bag the whole time. The tag on it was mistagged to a Mrs. Lew. I probably shouldn't say her last name, but last name is Lewandowski. So we think that her bag was in Las Vegas and my bag was in Madison, Wisconsin. So the next day, which was Easter, I did get a delivery on Easter Sunday with my bag, with all my stuff, with the wrong tag, but still they did, get that bag to me. And once it seemed like I talked to the right person, it all kind of worked out. So the call center that they have set up in India is kind of a disaster, right? It needs to be overhauled. The customer experience is terrible. The associates that they have there are not trained to deal with the situations at hand. That was my opinion, and that was the customer kind of viewpoint that I took from it. But when we got back to the States and you actually dealt face-to-face with the baggage people or the assistants that were working at the gates, they were awesome. They did a really good job. They really felt my pain. So, United, you guys ended up on a high note for me. But, that journey to get there was brutal. So while there is some good things there, I think we can all take some of those tough points of really looking at memos, right? Really looking at what the customer has gone through in the past, not making them rehash all of the issues, especially when it's definitely not a first call resolution issue, and there's going to be multiple callbacks. Make sure that we're setting up and we're being proactive to talk to the customer, to call them back, whether that would be on a social channel or that would be on a voice channel. There's a lot of things that I think United needs to do and to change. But when it got to their frontline troops, and I think their most trained troops, they did a really good job. So thank you for the attendance in Erie, and thank you for those in Madison, Wisconsin, for finding my bag. All right, that was 13 minutes. I hope that didn't bore you. I wanted to also discuss some of the cool technology that I saw, and that we're going to start to be playing around with here in the next 12 to 18 months on the roadmap, on the Nice inContact roadmap, which really is the roadmap because since they are such a leader in the space. One of the things that really was the focal point. So last year there was a huge focus on the chatbots and the AI when it comes to a self-service. And when you saw the showcase, you saw that a lot, right? So the AI pieces that happen with natural speech in the IVR, the AI pieces that happen with now connecting to an Alexa, the AI pieces that are now happening with the analytics. That was really the focus last year. Where this year, to me, in my opinion, the focus really was on how do we maximize analytics, and that means, and I don't want to say speech analytics, but for the most part, speech analytics. But still, analytics with speech, analytics with voice, with email, and analytics with chat. Having said and being able to really drill down on those three, the most important thing that NICE inContact is really looking at is how do you use sentiment scoring? How do you use personality? How can we tell somebody that it's not good enough anymore just to do a skills-based routing system where we have maybe a higher agent, a medium agent, and a newer agent, and being able to route that way. But now, taking someone's actual personality, taking someone's actual sentiment, whether it be positive or negative. For example, everybody has reps on their floor that are every day. They're just super nice, right? They may be a little long-winded, but they engage, they delight. And there's a specific customer that I think that those can go to, especially if you have a customer who calls in with a negative sentiment, who's a little irritated already. We can route them to somebody who has a positive sentiment who's going to try to turn that around. So that's one way to do it, but now they're taking it to the next level and actually looking at personalities. And there's certain things that we can tell from a rep level by, one, how they talk, how they speak, how their sentiment is, the rate of their voice, how quickly they handle things on the phone, that you can actually develop a personality. So if someone is kind of creative or playful, if they're warm, if they're strict right and to the point, right? Because there's a lot of customers that they don't really care about that. They just want their question answered as quickly as humanly possible. And so this is called personality behavioral routing. And basically, it's when a customer comes in and from their previous actions and from their voice that we've heard, tagging them with a specific personality trait and then routing them to the closest personality trait that we can find that's on your call center floor. That's mind-blowing. And that's crazy stuff. This is the stuff really of science fiction of long ago. The other thing that I found really cool that's coming out is, and it's here, but it's going to be, I guess, more for the people now, is voice recognition. So NICE has a product right now that's really expensive. It's a premise-based solution, but inContact is now looking at some cloud-based deals to where you can have really high-end, high-quality voice recognition where a customer can basically just call in, have a conversation with your associate. As that conversation is happening, all of the patterns of verification are being kind of calculated. So the next time the customer calls in, we can authenticate them without going through that painful, can I have your social security number? What is your account number? What is your last name? What is your pet's first name? All that stuff that kind of annoys the customer, especially if they're a customer that calls in a lot or has, multiple issues like I had. It would have been really nice if I just called in and boom, went to a rep and said, hi, Mr. Laird, you're probably looking for your bag, but this is what we have so far, instead of me having to rehash every single thing that I did. Some of the other things that we saw is again really getting into the AI piece of things when it comes to routing, when it comes to workforce intelligence of how we can really look to route calls even today. Really looking at different type of service level, looking at, for example, if calls come into the queue, predicting their wait time and predicting what your service level will be if no new agents get brought in, and then having those agents brought in before the service level drops. Those types of technologies are kind of coming and are here and are pretty exciting. We've also seen I see a big change in workforce management and in the forecasting and how AI is having a huge effect on WFM and also on your QA. So the theme, I think, is really now trying to induce a lot of different AI and machine learning into the processes that you're using every single day. So instead of just going out and saying, I got to get a chatbot with AI, you're going to start to see your daily tools that you don't even think about become much smarter, become much easier to use, and much more intuitive than I think they have in the past. And that's really the focus, which was the focus was personal interactions elevated. And I think that's really what they're looking to do. As we look out, that 18-month period to really start to interject a lot of things into analytics and to use that big data in ways that, while we can do it now with cool sentiment and looking at, customer sentiment and agent sentiment, but how do we route with that? How do we make the actual customer experience, better? So I thought it was really cool. We had a really good show, met a lot of really cool people. Hopefully have a couple new clients out of it as well in the customer service space. So again, I hope that's kind of helpful to you. I hope you enjoyed my story. We will be back on track next week. I'm going to dig deeper again into some of this new technology and really talk about the behavior routing and also some of the newer things that we're looking to do in speech analytics, because it kind of opened my mind, and we're playing with some things right now that I think we've had some success with. So tune in next week where we can, we're going to stay on more of this technology route. I'll try to keep my story a little shorter. But again, thank you for joining me. Please, if you can please post a review, I'd really appreciate it on whatever medium you're listening to The Geek, whether that's Spotify, iTunes, or directly from the website. I'd really appreciate it. Also, please, we're starting to finally get some traction on the Facebook and Twitter accounts from Advice from a Call Center Geek, so I really appreciate that. And again, as kind of the cheap plug, we gave away about 150 to 200 Advice from a Call Center Geek books. If you would like your own copy, it is on Amazon, and it kind of digs deeper into some of the topics that we talk about and kind of gives you a play-by-play on some operational things in your contact center. Again, thank you guys very much. I love all the following. I love all the listeners. I love all the feedback we're starting to get, and look forward to speaking to everybody next week. Have a great one, everyone.
This has been Advice from a Call Center Geek. Thanks for listening. Subscribe to the show so you're the first to hear next week's episode. Jam-packed with actionable takeaways you can implement ASAP. Chime in with your thoughts on the episode on Twitter @from_geek and on Instagram @call_center_geek. Also, take a look at our contact center operations book by the same name, Advice from a Call Center Geek, on Amazon. This podcast is sponsored by ExpiviaUSA.com.